So in this video, we're going to be talking about the DJI Mini 4 Pro, but specifically, we're going to be talking about some of the things I like about it, some of the things I don't really like about it, and is it still worth getting in 2025? Let's get into the video. So let's start with the positive thing that I got to say about this drone, because there's quite a lot of them. Like the first one and my most favorite is the weight and size of this thing. It literally weighs less than my shoe. And I know it's a weird thing to compare a drone to a shoe, but honestly, if you take off your shoe right now, this drone probably weighs less than that, unless your shoes are made of helium or something. And it's a very good reason to why DJI made a drone specifically weigh 259 grams. And it's actually one of the reasons that I went for the Mini 4 Pro instead of any other drones out there. Because in the UK, the drone law states that if your drone weighs more than 250 grams, you're basically gonna have to have a flyer ID. So for many people who didn't really want to be buying any more drone flying courses, the Mini 4 Pro or the Mini series were the perfect choice. But apparently that's all about to change, because from what I've been hearing, the new drone laws in the UK are going to be moving the weight restriction from 250 grams all the way down to just 100 grams. Meaning that if you're going to be buying the Mini 4 Pro or any Mini series, you're still going to have to do the flyer ID. Which then kind of leaves you wondering, do I still want to buy the Mini 4 Pro or do I just go for the bigger drone instead? Well, to me personally, I still prefer to have a drone that doesn't take too much space in the camera bag. But despite the Mini 4 Pro being so small, it still packs a ton of good features. Which brings me onto my next favorite part about this drone. So the Mini 4 has ActiveTrack feature, and not only that, it also has obstacle avoidance sensors, so you don't have to worry too much about the drone crashing into things. And after using the drone for a while, I gotta say the tracking feature works quite well. There are a few times the drone can lose you, especially if you're moving too fast, but for the majority of the time it keeps up with you pretty well. But now let's talk about the battery life. So in my experience, I probably get around 25 to 30 minutes of flight time. Of course, if there aren't any... Why is there a spider there? Shoo. There aren't any like heavy winds or anything, which is still pretty decent considering the size of this drone. But if you are planning to fly it all day, I would highly recommend getting yourself some extra batteries and a charging dock, because this battery does take a while to charge, especially if you're going to be charging it through the drone. I know the charging dock and the extra batteries cost a little bit extra, but honestly, it's probably better to have extra batteries than running out and having to wait ages for the batteries to charge. Another great thing about the Mini 4 Pro is that it's perfect for anyone creating content for social media. You can shoot in vertical mode just by clicking a button on your remote, which is ideal if you're planning on posting on platforms like YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere that requires vertical footage. It saves you the hassle of cropping it in post and sacrificing quality. And to me, that's what really makes this drone perfect. Especially for anyone who just wants to get some solid aerial footage without carrying loads of heavy gear. I actually took the Mini 4 Pro with me to Austria on my snowboarding trip, and honestly, I was impressed. It barely took any space in my bag, and I was still able to capture some absolutely amazing footage. But if you are planning on getting the Mini 4 Pro, I definitely recommend getting some ND filters, especially if you're going to be filming in pro mode and want to get some smooth cinematic looking footage. The ND filters help you to control your shutter speed in bright conditions, which is key if you want to follow the 180-degree rule and keep your motion looking natural. The ones I'm using are K&F filters that are on Amazon. And they're great because they only cost about £30, and honestly they work really well. But now let's move on to some of the things that I don't really like about the Mini 4 Pro, and there isn't really a lot of them. One thing I'd love to see on the drone is a proper zoom lens with multiple phone call lengths. On the Mini 4 Pro you only get one fixed lens. It does have a zoom feature, but it's digital, so if you're zooming in too much you start to lose image quality, and nobody really wants that. And the other thing that I want to mention, and maybe this is just me, but is the build quality on the Mini 4 Pro. I get that DJI had to make this drone under 250 grams, but because of that it does feel kind of cheap. The plastic is really lightweight and almost toy-like. One of the side panels actually popped off on me at one point, but luckily the clipped back on with no problem. But it definitely made me question on how durable this drone actually is. But apart from that, the Mini 4 Pro is still a perfect little drone. I'm kind of interested to see how the Mini 5 will be like. They heard the rumors that apparently that drone is going to be able to fly for about 1 hour. And if the rumors are true, that'll be pretty amazing considering how small those drones are. But then again, is it worth getting the Mini series even when the drone laws are going to be changing soon? Well, that's kind of all depends on you. If you're looking for a drone that's lightweight and small and still be able to capture great footage, then yeah, sure, go for the Mini series. But if you're thinking about getting something more like cinematic or more professional, then you might want to invest more money into something like the Mavic Pro. But only you can decide that. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheerio.
There he goes. We've lost the drone. All right, where are we?